God-focused, kingdom-minded, where I carry out my mission. My visionary prayer. Daddy, I love you. I want to be held, want to work beside you, walk beside you, reflect you, salt the world, light the world, love like you. See the best, see people, not look past them. Let them feel you and me so you can love them to you. I bear your image. May I give it all back to you. We bear your image. May we give it all back to you. May I step into a spiritual realm, your different reality, to know the world from heaven's perspective, on earth as it is in heaven. To live in this visible, different world. Step in, not business as usual. Sunshine Prosthetics values. Care, wonder. Care from Galatians 6. So let's not allow ourselves to get fatigued doing good. At the right time, we will harvest a good crop if we don't give up or quit. Right now, therefore, every time we get the chance, let us work for the benefit of all, starting with the people closest to us in the community of faith. Wonder from Matthew 6. Open your eyes wide in wonder and belief. Your body fills up with light. My vision. Open eyes to the care people at risk of amputation need. Saving limbs, saving lives. Open eyes to the care that amputees need. Restoring limbs, restoring lives. Open eyes to the wonder of how God wants to operate with care in this world, animating limbs, animating lives. God-focused, kingdom-minded, where I carry out my mission. Well, my first legend story on YouTube starts and ends there, and this one picks up there. But the where I'm carrying out my mission is a little different. When I moved to North Carolina, I fully expected that I would complete my career with the company that I moved here for. I got to learn a lot there. I got to operate with God there. It seems so silly now, but hey, it was a big deal when we prayed for the first time at a business meeting. And now I gladly open up a YouTube with my personal visionary prayer. During the course of time there, I spent about a year inquiring of God as far as my vision. I moved back to North Carolina with the intent of making a regional player in prosthetics. Mission accomplished. And as I engaged with God and asked, what should my vision be? He kept on saying, bigger. I knew I was to care for amputees. And it wasn't until that care reached the whole world that God was like, okay, we're good. And that was done. There were all sorts of challenges with that owner and that business. On the vision side of things, I would not use my vision as the company's vision. I insisted that he have one for the company. And it took more than a year to get that. And some of that, yeah, I became fatigued and I engaged less at a certain point. And then God called me back to re-engage. I was taking a class that was giving me some new skills and some new tools, and I thought, this is great. And immunity to change was one of those tools and skills. There's a great Harvard Business Review article about it, and I'd encourage you to look it up. There's a whole book dedicated to immunity to change and diving into this. I'd learned it in the class situation, and it was fantastic because it gets you to honestly look at some of your assumptions and then to challenge and figure out how you might safely challenge. So yeah, I had some big assumptions, and you're supposed to come out at the end of this with safe, recoverable action steps to challenge your big assumptions. Turns out mine weren't safe and recoverable. So I found myself in a painful recovery from eye surgery, secondary to an auto accident while working, receiving a text and an email telling me I was fired. I want to highlight that. I got fired by text. That's one of those points of conflict that I was engaged with, head fatigued of, decided to re-engage with the owner of the company that I previously worked for. But the cool thing is, I've been doing my work with God and knew I was made for this. Knew that even though he'd given me that distant vision of a regional player at one time, what God absolutely desires is just to be present, to be there, to be in relationship where we're listening. The scriptures talk about lighting your path. We talk about it's the headlights on the highway in a really dark night. You really can't see beyond the headlights. But you get to live in trust, in presence with God. And so I got fired. That was painful, and I did have to spend a little time thinking, but I know what I'm designed to do. And so I'm back to doing what I'm designed to do. Sunshine Prosthetics is God's company, and I'm continuing to learn what that means. I want to close with my vision now. You've heard it once already. My vision's a little different. It's every bit as big, but there's even more to it. Open eyes to the care people at risk of amputation need. Saving limbs, saving lives. Open eyes to the care that amputees need. Restoring limbs, restoring lives. Open eyes to the wonder of how God wants to operate with care in this world. Animating limbs, animating lives. Saving limbs, saving lives. Restoring limbs, restoring lives. Animating limbs, animating lives.